Okay, I just wanted to say really quick before I get started with the video that I'm an amateur in all of this, okay? Making videos, definitely with audio quality, editing the whole bit. I did want to do something where, like, maybe I'm coloring while I'm recording this video, but that would have been incredibly lame. Um, I got this book on Amazon, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk about Ezra, so how about I go ahead and I color a picture of Ezra? So I was going to color this picture, right? Made a copy of it and everything. But the thing is my coloring skills are shit. So it would have been horrible. Not saying that what follows after this is great or anything, but I was just trying to have some fun for myself. I wanted to talk about Ezra and the whole Ezra Maul Kanan dynamic. Uh, Anyways, yeah, and I think the part that I had the most fun with was making that thumbnail, so I hope you guys liked it because I was laughing and peeing and like crying the whole time. So, anyways, that's it.
Hey guys, until somebody picks me up to sponsor me like a VPN or whatever, this video is sponsored by me. That's my merchandise, bunch of stuff, whatever. Links in the description down below. Enjoy the video. I want to talk about why Anakin could never be the chosen one, but Ezra might be. So it wasn't that Anakin was too old to start Jedi training, or that he had too much anger inside of him because of the pain he'd suffered through as a child and as a slave and from losing his mom. No, it was that he had the worst possible, most biased and sheltered training and upbringing imaginable. Yeah, I said what I said. He had instructors who all were about the same message day in and day out. Mind your feelings, they betray you. Beware the dark side. Anger, jealousy, blah, blah, blah. They all lead to the dark side. Dark side bad, light side good. And yes, even Yoda. By the time Yoda realized they'd failed Anakin, it was truly too late. Anakin wasn't the only one who'd suffered great loss, or started training later in life. His own son grew up knowing he was adopted by his aunt and uncle, but knew nothing about who his mother and father were. And Luke didn't start Jedi training until he was 19. But even Luke was not the chosen one, nor was Leia, as it might have been, could have been, as it was alluded to in Empire Strikes Back. As you remember, the chosen one is all about bringing balance to the Force, and that could have never been Anakin. No, I believe that honor goes to Ezra. It could only be Ezra. Ezra also was orphaned and alone, growing up like a Star Wars Aladdin street rat on the streets of Lothal. Lothal. He was 14 when Kanan accepted him as his student, and it wasn't until his 15th birthday that Kanan actually began his training. What makes Ezra the ultimate balance in the Force was his balanced training. What helped Ezra become so good, relatively fast, was he basically had two teachers, Kanan and Maul. Yes, I know he never accepted Maul as his master, but that doesn't mean Ezra was not Maul's apprentice. Where Anakin had to be secretly seduced and groomed by Palpatine, subtly learning about the dark side in soft, dulcet undertones, as his masters were constantly telling him on the other side, "Don't go to the dark side because I said so." Maul was actively teaching Ezra what the dark side could do and what the benefits were by initially explaining the most fundamental principle: to defeat your enemy, you must know your enemy. With Maul's teachings, there were explanations in it. It's the same principle, like if you tell a kid, "Don't do that because I said so." That's not that's not doing your kid right. Like, you're supposed to explain the why. It's not just, "Oh, because I said so." Don't touch it because it's hot. Cool. What does that mean? You just said not to touch it. It's hot. What does hot mean? You have to teach these things. Anyways, Anakin never got that. He was truly raised in an "I said so" environment from the moment he left his mom with Qui-Gon, and then Qui-Gon dying damn near immediately. Like, where the hell's the stability? And then his feelings were never explored, let alone validated. He was taught feelings were bad and needed to be suppressed and ignored. He never was given tools to work through his trauma so that he could heal and let go. He was simply told over and over that he just had to, because that was the Jedi way. He had to keep secret his love for Padme, and it was wrong to care for Ahsoka. Like, what? All of that shit compounded over the years with no real sense of how to heal. So, yeah, no, that... Anyways, in a side note, even Anakin was a better mentor, master, whatever, to Ahsoka than any of the masters that he had. And yeah, I'm even talking about Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was, like he said, we were like brothers. Well, that's a problem. That's truly a problem, because Obi-Wan was still young when Qui-Gon died, and he took on Anakin as his apprentice. He still had things that he needed to work through just in growing up. So for him to take charge of a little boy that had so much more trauma to deal with than, was capable. Obi-Wan just didn't have the tools to deal with that. But okay, I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. So Ezra, on the other hand, had two amazing mentors. Two mentors who were working through their own pasts and traumas in real time, ending up into very vastly different, but ultimately same places, right? Like, they both died. Okay, but through Kanan, Ezra learned a sense of duty that came through countless times of watching Kanan himself grow. Kanan had issues with trust and confidence, but he openly shared these thoughts with Ezra. So from Ezra's point of view, he saw, in real time, what it took to not only be a man, but an individual worthy of being called master. I think that transparency was very important to Ezra's growth, but okay. So Kanan showed Ezra trust in Ezra's abilities to make good decisions and to find his own way. And as far as Obi-Wan goes, Obi-Wan with Anakin, I think the only time he could really trust Anakin was when they were in battle, when they were, on the battlefield, when they were fighting. He trusted Anakin's judgment then. But what about in regular life, outside of fighting? Like, he was always questioning him. That's not healthy. Every time Maul showed up, Kanan protectively wanted Ezra to stay away, but he repeatedly gave him the freedom to make mistakes and to get messy. And if things didn't go right, Kanan was still there for him. There was no punishment. There was no, oh, you did bad. There was no just making him feel like he was less. There was just explorations of the lessons learned from this not so great experience. And that's how you raise a kid. That's how you raise a balanced kid. And I'm not done when it comes to Maul. From Maul, Ezra learned that his feelings were not a liability, because Maul showed him how to use them, how to draw power from them. This opened up a whole nother level of power to Ezra that, in my opinion, both Sith and Jedis lacked. Because again, to know your enemy, or to defeat your enemy, you must know your enemy, right? So anyways, I have a problem with the Jedi always saying that, like, you're not supposed to feel anything, and then the Sith are supposed to, like, feel everything. There's just a huge difference, and again, there is no balance. But okay, so because this lesson was built upon a foundation of already good teachings. By the time Ezra met Maul, he'd already learned that families don't have to be blood related. He'd learned about corruption in the Empire and just how deep it went. And he also learned about sacrifice for a greater good. And I think, that one I do see the Jedi teaching that, but it was just these different ways that he was taught. And then so by the time Maul comes around, Ezra's foundation is strong. Yes, he had, a moment that lasted a little bit where he was playing with the Sith holocron and he was leaning towards the dark side. But that was also when Kanan was absent voluntarily from Ezra's life. as he, Kanan, worked out his own demons. And then once that was resolved, there was never a chance of Ezra becoming a Sith. But I don't think Ezra calling him a Jedi is quite right either. Because Ezra is more than that. He is the Force. He truly is balanced. And before I wrap this up, I just want to touch really quick and say, look, I'll keep this brief because this is truly for another video altogether. But don't even suggest Rey, because the moment Kylo Ren was dead and all that was left was Ben, that was it. She was one half of a Force dyad. With Kylo gone, so was that balance. And remember, we're talking about balance here. We're talking about the Chosen One is supposed to bring balance to the Force. And once Kylo was gone, that was it. Remember, she was 1,000 generations of Jedi was represented by her. And it was her job to kill Palpatine, who represented, all of the Sith before him. So there was, with the death of Kylo, and absolutely with Palpatine's death, no chance of her restoring balance. And then at that point, one of the worst plot devices, in my opinion, came into play. The whole destroy evil, destroy the dark, blah, 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 blah. Like I said, that's a whole nother thing, whole nother video at some point, and I just don't even want to get into that. And this not me hating on the sequels, because I actually do kind of like them. I just, you started off with bringing balance to the Force, and then it ends up just going with the whole defeat the dark side. To me, that's just kind of lame. But anyways, I'm sure that when Ahsoka comes out, they'll bring Ezra in, and he'll be written as a pretty badass Jedi. But I just think they'd be missing an opportunity to do something that's like truly Star Wars awesome and tie it all back together. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he isn't a Jedi. Ahsoka's not a quote-unquote Jedi, and I love that. So I don't know, maybe Ezra won't be either, but, in writing of worlds and everything, there's always a good side and a bad side. And in life, no one is truly good or truly bad. Some may lean towards one way or the other, but most have a fair share of both in them. Very, very rarely do we get to see, quote-unquote, the Chosen One being a truly balanced character. And for Ezra, I just truly believe he's exactly that. And he wouldn't have been if he'd been raised like Anakin or even Luke. And so, my final thought is we owe Ezra's greatness, not just to Ezra, because Ezra's awesome, and I think he should take some credit for it. But I really do believe that Kanan and Maul were the best things that could have happened to Ezra. Well, the family too. Hera and Zeb and Sabine and Chopper. Okay, all of them. But as far as guiding Ezra to where he needed to be, I really feel like that was Kanan and Maul. And it wouldn't have been possible without both of them. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I gotta sneeze. Okay. Happy Friday. Let me know what you think.